Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm Reverend Frances Baden, and I'm so grateful to get to spend this time with you. And today, we're going to be talking about a really hot topic, I guess I could call it, the energy of money and the money mistake that highly sensitive people make, not even knowing that we're making this mistake. And so before we get into this very important topic, let's get ourselves really ready to receive this information and inspiration today. We'll take a few deep breaths together. As always, if you're driving, please keep your eyes open. But if you're home or somewhere where you can close your eyes, let yourself do that. Focus on your breathing, breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything that you no longer need. Giving yourself complete permission to spend this time, to give yourself this time to be present, to be focused, to be receptive, knowing that you're going to hear whatever it is that you need to hear today, and feeling such gratitude for that. Let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, well, welcome once again, my friend. It is just, this topic is just such an important topic, I think, especially for highly sensitive people. And I want to share with you that this was not my intention to talk about today. I had a beautiful guest lined up. I had somebody I was going to interview, and unfortunately, she had an emergency in her family and wasn't able to keep this appointment. So she is going to be coming in April, and I know you're going to love her. I'm so excited to have her. She's an author, and I'm not even going to tell you any more than that. It's just amazing. I'm so happy to be able to interview her. But in the meantime, I said, well, Mother Mary, what else did you have in mind? What is it that you're wanting us to talk about? What would you like me to share with everybody? And so she gave me this topic about the not so obvious money mistake that highly sensitive people make, because she knows that this is a really important topic for you if you really want to be able to magnify your miracles. And not only are we going to be talking about this today, but the next few episodes are going to be centered on this topic. So next week, I'm going to be doing a book review on a book that's going to help you with magnifying your money miracles. And then the week after that, I'm bringing on a very special guest who's going to help you to unblock your money miracles. How does that sound? And then we'll probably end the month with a beautiful meditation that you'll be able to do and take with you. So Mother Mary has us dialed in. She has everything exactly as it's meant to be, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So I want to talk about this topic of money. First of all, what is it, and why is it important, and what's different about highly sensitive people when it comes to this particular topic? Now, those of you who know, you listen to this podcast, you're probably a light worker yourself. Every light worker I know is also a highly sensitive person. We feel things very, very deeply, and we're very, very connected. And so this issue of money can sometimes be touchy for people because we've been raised with some beliefs that don't serve us, such as money and spirituality don't go together, or there's more important things in life than money, or the list goes on and on and on. And what ends up happening that I've seen is that we become disempowered in this area of our lives. Now, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur like me, it can be extremely disempowering because this is what you do for a living. So it's not like in the olden days where you were a spiritual person, you had a gift or a talent, and you lived in a monastery, and you just shared your gift and talent with the monastery, and the monastery then provided you with room and board, and everything worked out. We're not in that situation anymore, are we? In fact, in the West, we're in a much different situation than that, where a lot of us who are light workers, who have probably been light workers for many, many lifetimes, and have been in monasteries and ashrams and temples many, many, many times, are a little bewildered because we're like, what is this green thing called money? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing with this? And it may feel really uncomfortable and really unfamiliar to you, but you've probably heard the phrase that money is energy. Money is energy. And you might go, yeah, I kind of get what that means. Money is energy. I'm going to break it down even a little bit more for you in the way that I understand it. Money is an amplifier. Money magnifies things. So and you've probably heard this before too, if you're a very generous person, having more money will make you a more generous person because it's going to magnify what you already are. If you're somebody who is not a generous person, if you're somebody who is mean-spirited or stingy or whatever you want to call it, then it will magnify that energy in you as well. It just makes you more of whatever you are. Now, there's a false belief that it's going to make you something that you're not, and it doesn't have the power to do that. It's just energy. It's like electricity. If we take electricity and we bring it into a house, it's going to act in a benevolent way. It's going to light up the house. It's going to make it so that we can turn on our lights, we can turn on our appliances, we can, do all kinds of things that we weren't able to do because that energy of electricity is now being harnessed in a different way. We can take that same energy and we can channel it through an electric chair, and suddenly that energy becomes destructive instead of constructive. It's the same energy. It's just how is it being focused and how is it being used? And that's the thing that Mother Mary wanted me to talk about with you. And I say this with as much compassion as I can because I'm also talking to myself at the same time. Very often, I've seen this in my practice, I've seen it with my colleagues, I've seen it with myself. Very often we're using money in a way it's not meant to be used. Again, what is it? It's a medium of exchange. It's something that we completely made up to make it easier for us to exchange goods and services for the things that we needed. So instead of bringing your 10 goats to the market and I bring my one big camel to the market and we trade, we invented coins and paper and all that. And so it's a medium. It's a medium of exchange. And it's symbolic. It symbolizes something. Nowadays, it's not even coins and paper, is it? Now we have debit cards and electronic transfers and all kinds of things. So money really is this energy. It's an energy and it's meant to make our lives easier. But whatever you tell it to do consciously or subconsciously, it will do. Whatever you tell it to do consciously or subconsciously, it will do. Now you might be saying, what is she talking about? How do I know if I'm telling money to do something on a subconscious level? Well, I'll give you a hint. One of the things that I find many people do without realizing that they're doing it is they're highly sensitive and they have a hard time having boundaries. They have a hard time saying no. They have a hard time putting their needs first and maybe taking action on some things that they really need to because they're afraid they're going to hurt somebody's feelings. And then what do you find yourself saying? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go to your wedding that's going to be happening in Hawaii because I just can't afford it. I don't have the money to go. Now, this is something you got to be really careful of. If you're using money as a boundary, if you find yourself not wanting to do something and then using money as your excuse, you're now telling your subconscious mind and you're also telling the universe and you're telling the energy of money, I need you to be in short supply so I can take care of myself energetically. Now let that sink in for a minute. Now I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that's the one that Mother Mary wanted me to share with you. If you're using money as a boundary, you got to be really, really careful because it's not going to want you to feel unsafe. And so if having a lot of money means that you could go anywhere you want, whenever you wanted, most of us think, oh my God, that would be amazing. Would it be amazing? Because if you could go anywhere, anytime you want, and people are inviting you to do things, now you have to tell the truth and you have to say, I could go. I have the money to go. I don't really want to go. I don't really want to go. Oh my God. Isn't that sometimes the hardest thing to say? I was just on a coaching call with a colleague of mine, and she was being coached by my coach. And I could hear it in her story and hear it in her voice. And she was saying how she's been having money problems the last 6 months. Her income has gone down. The cash flow is going down. And as I was listening to her story, what came out was she's got this person on her team and she really needs to let her go. And now she doesn't even have the money to keep her on the team. But then what ended up being revealed was she needed to let her go 6 months ago, and she didn't have the heart to do it. She was really afraid. Am I going to hurt her feelings? I don't want to hurt her feelings. Oh my goodness. And so what ended up happening, money starts coming in and going, oh, I'm sorry. Are you needing a boundary? Are you needing me to take care of you in a way that you're not able to take care of yourself? Okay. And so her cash flow started to become less and less and less until what happened? Until she finally felt like her back was against the wall. And she's like, well, now I can say that I can't afford her rather than telling the truth, which is she's not really doing the job. So this is a really sticky situation. This is a really tough thing. And I want you to be aware of it because you might not even recognize that you're doing it. I didn't recognize that I was doing it. I did this for such a long time where I just didn't have the money to do things. And I always had the money to get by, but I never had the money to do other things. And it was really masking that I didn't want to. And when I say I didn't want to, it doesn't mean that it was so clear in my mind, like, oh, I definitely don't want to do that. Sometimes it was that I wasn't comfortable doing it. Like maybe I would be invited somewhere with a lot of people and I'm more of an introvert and I don't really like being around big crowds of people all the time. And oh, look at that. Couldn't afford to go anyway. So be very, very careful about that. Now you might be doing an opposite thing, which you might be asking money to make you feel better about yourself. You might be asking money to build up your self-esteem. And you might be someone who maybe you spend more money than you actually have because you are trying to prove something to yourself. Again, money isn't there to build up your self-esteem or to take away your self-esteem. It's simply energy, just like electricity. It can light up your house and it can also light up the electric chair, like just a matter of your focus and where you're going to use it. So money is not meant to build you up or tear you down. It's just there. And what you do with it is completely up to you. Now, one of the things I love in the work that I do with people, and you know that I've talked about working with the energy and the chakras, is you can see, at least I can see, where people's money issues are in their energy field. You can see it, and you can see both sides of it, which I love. Very often people will tell you money is a second chakra issue. And a lot of times that's true. Why would it be the case? Because the second chakra is all about relationships and it's all about money is about exchanging and it's an exchange between people. So I can see how it would be, but it can also be in other places. So you might have money issues in your root chakra if money is all about survival. If you're in survival mode and you use money to help you feel safe and secure and grounded, and you're always going to be in that survival mode, then that's where money will show up for you. If you're like a lot of us, it's more about exchange. It could be about that energy of creativity. And it can also show up a lot in relationships. I think it's one of the reasons that people argue about money in relationships is because it can be in the second chakra. If you're using money or you're leaning on money to build up your self-esteem, you might find that money issues are really tied up in that third chakra. If you have a lot of stress around money, if you're kind of burning the candle at both ends, trying to get ahead and all of that, you might have stuff more in the third chakra where you're seeking money to help you with that hole that you feel on the inside where you're not feeling quite strong enough. Now, everybody has something and it shows up somewhere. The good news is your money also shows up where it wants to be expressed. So very often I'll be working with somebody and I'll be working on their throat chakra, and all of a sudden their throat chakra goes from being the normal blue color to turning brilliant gold. And I'll be like, oh my God. And now I know that that person is meant to be a communicator. There's a lot of money that can be made at speaking, singing, writing, expressing themselves. Sometimes I see it in the heart chakra. And the same thing will happen. It's like, oh, this is a person that as they share their heart, what they really love, that's what brings them the most abundance. Or maybe it's in their third chakra where they let themselves really shine and they really let themselves be a leader. That's where the money is for them. So your money can be in all of your chakras, but I usually do see that it comes out in a particular way for people because you're wired for prosperity. Now I'm going to share one last thing with you because we're on this beautiful topic of finances and money. And I really want you to get, and I think the reason Mother Mary wanted me to talk to you about this is because so many prayers are said every single day for a money miracle. Every single day for a money miracle. And yet from Spirit's point of view, the money's here. Like it's already here. The question is are we receiving it? So if you're praying for a money miracle, at the same time you're using money to create boundaries that you're a little afraid to take on your own, then you're going to be sending out mixed signals. So part of you is going to be calling it in, and part of you is going to be saying, please don't come, because if you come, I'm going to have to tell the truth about it, and that really makes me scared. It's really something that I find highly sensitive people do. Because we're so sensitive, we can feel when other people, when they get their feelings hurt. But I'm going to say to you, my friend, that whenever you tell the truth, you free yourself and you free the other person, and it frees up your energy, which frees up the energy of money. I'll say it again. When you tell the truth, it frees up your energy. It simultaneously frees up the energy of somebody else. It frees up you on an energetic level, and it frees up the energy of your money. Because now your money can do what it's supposed to be doing. Now it can be acting as a way to magnify the energy in your life. Now it can start bringing you more of what you actually really are desiring, and not only what you're afraid of. So I'm going to read you this quote from Louise Hay. And if you don't have this book, you know I love books. The book, You Can Heal Your Life. It's got a wonderful chapter on prosperity, because I find that money is very connected to that second chakra as an emotional issue. How we feel about money makes a huge, huge difference. You have an advantage as a highly sensitive person because you feel so deeply. You should be able to manifest money at the drop of a hat, because being able to feel abundant, being able to feel prosperity, being able to feel connected to the energy of love is the most expansive thing that you can do. So highly sensitive people, in my opinion, should be the wealthiest people on the planet, because we have the upper hand. We feel so deeply. And that's one of the secrets of manifesting. So I'm going to share this with you from Louise Hay. And she's talking about when people think of money as their security and they scare themselves. And so she's talking about letting go of the energy of worry. You know, when we worry about things, again, it's another thing that we can be doing to inadvertently be pushing the energy of money away. She says your security is not your job, and it's not your bank account. Or for those of us who are entrepreneurs, it's not your business. It's not your investments. It's not your spouse. It is not your parents. Your security is your ability to connect with the cosmic power that creates all things. I will say this again. We should make a bumper sticker out of this. Your security is your ability to connect with the cosmic power that creates all things. Now, this is why I say to you, my friends, spiritual people should be the most wealthy people on the planet, because we're the ones that know how to create to that cosmic power. This is one of the reasons why I focus on helping spiritual entrepreneurs, people that have a big vision, people that have a big heart, because I know that if I can help you connect to that cosmic power, you can do anything at all, because that's where your security really, really lies. So I'm going to read it one last time. Your security is your ability to connect with the cosmic power that creates all things. All right, my friends, so I encourage you this week to take a look and see, how am I doing with my money? Am I using it for something that it's not meant to be used for? Am I using it to build me up? Am I using it to keep me grounded? Am I using it as a boundary? What would happen if I just gave myself permission to let money be money and be nothing more than a medium of exchange? What would that be like? You know what that would be like? It's going to free up your energy. And when you free up your energy, then the miracles that are already here can become even more obvious to you. All right, my miraculous friends. So just remember, what do we like to say? The key to magnifying your miracles is to realize that your miracle is already here. Thank you so much. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.